theme simply is empowered women empower women. Say it with me. Empowered women empower women. Say it again.
Empowered women empower women.
Say it again.
Empowered women empower women.
Last time like you mean it.
Empowered women empower women.
Right. And I got the t-shirt. Empowered women empower women. And there are a few things that empowered women do to empower themselves and to empower other women. First things first, empowered women educate. They educate themselves and they educate others. My grandmother finished school at the end of primary school. She wasn't 13 when she finished school. And outside of that, she became a first-time mother at the age of 16. Unmarried. Could imagine that was a scandal. But she became a first-time mother at the age of 16. And for most of her life, she was a homemaker. Now you might ask, what could she have empowered me with? All right? From her vantage point, but I'll tell you exactly what she empowered me with. My grandmother was fierce when it came to herbal medication. She taught me what every tree meant, every plant, every herbal medicine, and that is the legacy she passed to me. Primary school education, herbal doctor. She was an empowered woman. Empowered women also empathize. How much do we empathize with people when they're facing something? Now let's talk about sympathy versus empathy. Sympathy is basically understanding what someone is going through and understanding one's suffering. Am I right? Oh, am I right? Right. Whereas empathy is actually feeling what someone is going through, putting yourself in that person's shoes and understanding exactly what they're going through. So I have a story for you. Want to hear a story? Want to hear a story?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a story for you. I have a very lovely friend, and her mom passed a few years ago, and her mom passed before my mom did. And so at that point in time, you could understand I would have had sympathy for what she was going through. So when she came, she was overseas, and she came back, and the death was very unexpected, and so, she was very boisterous in coming back and getting all the arrangements, and I'm going around with her, and I realize she's not cracking. She's a little too hyped. When is this gonna burst? When the eruption is coming, and I want to be there for her when that happens. Now, when we got to the funeral, she was great. She stayed up. It was great. I was really happy that she was doing this. I mean, happy in the fact that, she's not all on the floor and I'm gonna scrape her up and that kind of thing. The first gut punch came when you close the casket. That's when it hits home. And I saw her knees buckle. I said, okay, it's coming. It's coming. The second time is when we were at the cemetery, and that casket starts the slow descent. That's when it hit. The eruption came, and she wept. There's I think there's a verse in the Bible that says Jesus wept. Yeah, well, she was weeping. Okay, so she wept, and I felt sorry for her at that point in time, and I put myself in her shoes, and I had empathy. And while I was there comforting her, the lady passed by out of nowhere. I don't know who sent her, maybe the devil, I don't know. But anyway, lady passed by and she goes, "No, Alpha. You can't bring them back." Really? Now my first reaction as her friend was to punch her in the throat. But, we frown on that kind of behavior in the society, so I thought better of it. And I was a lecturer at that time, it wouldn't look cute. So I decided not to do that, right? But at the same time, you realize, where is the empathy in a situation like that? And as an empowered woman, I gave her that empathy that she needed at that point in time. We joke about it now. I'm sure about that. She can't bring them back. We joke about it, and I'm glad that she's healed. But empowered women empathize. That's part of your power. Having that kind of power, right, is very precious, and it's something that you should not only aim to continue having, but to understand the merits of when you come into the company of someone else, what you bring. So that's number 2. Number 3, empowered women encourage. Now, how many of you saw the viral video of Miss Nigeria cheering when Miss Jamaica won Miss World? Oh my gosh. A meme came out of that. If you don't cheer for me the way she cheered for Miss Jamaica, I don't need your friendship. That was the meme. And it speaks to the fact that when we're empowered and we're in situations where we could bring other women along, we need to have that kind of encouragement to give to persons. Whether they're up, when they're up, oh great, you're happy for them. Just like Miss Nigeria. And when they're down, who can they depend on? Who can they lean on for those words of support? It has to be you, because you are the empowered woman. And lastly, empowered women excogitate. Ooh. It's just a $50 word. Don't worry about it. Don't get excited. It's just a $50 word to say self-reflect. Self-reflection. Self-reflection is a time when you sit and think about what you can do to improve yourself. It's not a time to beat down on yourself, ladies. No, that's not what it's about. It is not a time to look at all the things that you've done wrong. No, what it is a time to see who you are, where you are, what you're going to do to move forward. And I hope that you use the time to excogitate and make that a part of who you are. I have a female pastor friend who tells me that her time to excogitate is normally at the end of the year, where she sits and reflects about what she's going to do for the next year, what she did right, what she did not so right, what she can learn from to move forward. And it's a wonderful time of reflection. And boy, did she have some reflection at the end of last year. She called me and told me about it. 2020 was. Right? But it's time for us as women to think seriously about how we as a body, women of color, how we can educate, empathize, encourage, and excogitate. So let's take those words that I have shared and mold them to yourselves. Think about the other women that you can empower. Think about the legacy that you want to leave as an empowered woman, empowering other women. And if I had a glass, I would raise a glass right now and say, Happy International Women's Day to all of us as women. May, and as empowered women, may we be them, may we know them, and may we raise them. Good evening, and thank you so much for listening to me.